Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Live on Neeves Knives. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a good day and good holiday or holidays moving forward. No, it's not quite Christmas yet. We got a couple days, but this is going to be the last live before, so figure we might as well celebrate it now. I'm going to talk a little bit of knives. I do have a story for story time. I don't know if it's much of a Christmas story, but you know, it's a story. But I do want to talk about some USA banger knives because they're all sold out now. I was actually just on Instagram and I seen some Freemans dropped at noon today. They're gone now. There was only a few of them on USA made blades. Now, it kind of pisses me off because this is such a great knife and they're like never, ever, 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 ever available. You can get Hinders faster than these things. And right now you can get Hinders actually. Go to eKnives, link down in the description. They have the blue and the red ones left. And you can always get new scales. The red one looks really cool. It's got the blue it's like a battle blue, like it's a blue stone washed on this side. It looks really cool with the red scale. That looks dope. But if you don't like the red or whatever, like me, I don't even know how many scales I have. I probably have like, I don't even know. I have a lot of scales. A bunch of different colors of G10, you know, so you can just mix it up. I really, really like the micarta. I do have the titanium one for this with the horse right here. I might swap it pretty soon because I got it the blue one to mix with this side. That's the cool thing about Hinders, man. You really make them your own. But these two knives, man, you know what? Actually, this might compete more with the 24. Yeah, look at that. I mean, the 24 is bigger. Not by a lot, though. But yeah, both of these knives, you know, whether it's the 18, the 24, they definitely compete with the Freeman. Now, this is a knife. Before I get too crazy, the button lock is. I mean, if theoretically you'd think it'd be really strong, I would imagine it's pretty tough. Mine, I can feel a little bit of when I really, really wiggle it. Now, if I hold it back here, I don't feel anything, but right here in the nose, I can, which is kind of typical with button locks, especially one as old as this. This one's not old. I mean, I got it, the Blade show last year or something like that. Or was it this year? Maybe it was Blade show this year. Anyways, I bought it at Blade show. It's thick as a brick, though, man. Holy cow, this thing is so thick. The one thing, man, if they really, really, well, if they ever could make enough of them, so I guess it doesn't matter. They might as well just make them the way they are. But if they really, really wanted to go crazy and make a whole bunch and sell them really fast, if they put a deep hollow grind on this thing, oh my goodness, would that be sick? But I can say the same thing for Hinders and Spartans. You know, Spartan, same thing, man. If they sold them with these damn hollow grinds, like you can get these. These are pretty easy to get, the Spartan Harseys. There's actually a Spartan Paladin, the button lock one, on KNAFSALE right now. Shout out to KNAFSALE. Link down in the description, man. They have a ton of really cool stuff. Another competitor to those guys is the Demco 8020. Probably the superior one as far as toughness and toughness goes. Yeah, there's no way those could hold up to the toughness level of this. Now, you know, you're not going to ever probably know that because you'll probably never abuse this to that level, which why would you? It's a folding knife. But if you had to, right, it's nice to know. You like to know that your shit'll do that. I did bring out a Strider just for shits and giggles. Not that I like this Strider or anything. I mean, it's okay, but mine has play and it never goes away. The only way I can get it to go away is if I want no action, if I want to have to two-hand open it, which is ridiculous. This is one of the M Striders, but yeah, it was kind of disappointing, I'll be honest. This one's in PSF 27 steel. I don't even know about the damn steel. Whatever. I know it's a tough knife. I've seen them abused. I even seen like Steve beat the shit out of one time, and I was surprised how tough it was. But he's talking into the right side. He's got a fancy mic. It's a stereo. Why? What's wrong? You guys are only hearing it on one side or something? I can put the mic closer or turn it up. I can turn it up. I got it set to where if I get super loud, it'll automatically turn down. I finally ordered a Hinderer. Ooh, Gen 6 in Battle Wash blue lock side with blue G10 on show side. Really excited. Good for you, Scott, man. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, they are awesome, man. And they're tough to get, so you want to get them when you can. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not affiliated with USA Made Blades, but they got a whole bunch of Hinders that just dropped on their site, like a shit ton of them. I've never asked them though for an affiliate link. I should. I think I might have to now. They probably won't give me one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they would, maybe they won't, but regardless, shout out to them. Powder spray form 27, basically another step above CPM D2. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I've never even sharpened this. I've never sharpened that steel. This still has the factory edge on there. I mean, it's solid up and down. It just has a little bit of side to side because you have to have a little bit of movement in order to be able to flick it. And it's still not, I don't know. To me, for $600, that thing is rough. I just, like I've had a few others that were really good. So, luckily I've had those. Otherwise, this would totally make me like feel a certain type of way about Strider. But I have tried a few other ones. I've tried multiple customs, the Marfion customs, but those aren't made by Strider. Those were the best ones I ever tried. Hands down, best ones, 100%. But I also tried the regular Striders, and all of them had lock stick. Every single one except for the Marfion customs. This one had serious lock stick, and I got the lock face carbonized, so now it doesn't, but it did. If you don't have lock stick and gummy action, do you even have a real Strider? Yeah, exactly. And like I just said, all of them did have lock stick. This one came with lock stick, but I got the lock face carbonized. It did come back though for a minute. And did I put marker on it? I probably did. So anybody, if you don't know this, if you ever have lock stick and it's pretty serious and you want to get rid of it, you can use permanent marker or graphite from a pencil. I think permanent marker works the best, but what I think is the best way to do it, clean it off, dry it, then put the marker on there, just one swipe, a nice thin layer, and then blow on it, let it dry, then put another layer, blow on it, let it dry, put another layer, then open and close it a bunch of times, and then do it again. Open and close a bunch of times, do it again. Open and close a bunch of times, do it again. And like do like 3 or 4 layers at a time. And what will happen is that will transfer the marker over to the lock and the lock face, and that fucker won't have lock stick for a few months. I can get lock stick to go away for a long time if you do it right. If you do it where you do levels and you do it over and over and over to where it makes a a layer. Can you get aftermarket washers or bearings for it? I could get washers for sure. It doesn't ride on bearings, so I don't know if that'd probably be the way to go. Actually, what would probably be the best way to go is to get Teflon washer. That I probably should do that. But here's the thing. The detent is like it kind of sucks. I mean, I don't know. It's there. It has a detent, but it's kind of like a Sebenza's detent, whereas they're not like clicky detents. Holy shit, Ryan, you got a mini Arius today. It's so small. Good for you on the score. Low country hillbilly with the 2 bones. Love my old Chevalier. The new one worth upgrading? Yes, it actually is. It really is. It's good. I think we have some on the NeevesKniveco site if you want to if you want to get one. But yeah, dude, everybody knows this, that just changing the materials on any knife completely changes the knife. Even like this hinder, when I switch to the titanium scale, it feels different. The action feels different. Everything feels different on it, and then the weight also always plays a part. Now, the difference between the micarta one or the aluminum one is, well, one, the weight, but two, you have that metal feeling in the hand and the sound, the detent. And also another thing, when they did the Chevalier, when they first did it, they were kind of just getting into to button locks. Now they've pretty much mastered it. Like, they're doing, like, in my opinion, the best button locks on the market. I can't think of any company that does a better button lock. Now, I could say a better company for strength, like say ProTech, but that's because they have automatic button locks. But that to me is different. That doesn't count, because I would say, even as far as, and I hate to say this, man, but as far as button lock action on a manual, ProTech's got it down for the D10. They do a good job with that. But as far as rock solid lockup and all that, we's got it. We and Civivi's got it. Almost every single ProTech I have tried with a button lock, if you went like this, you could wiggle up and down on it. I don't have any except for one Civivi that has that, and that's the Conspirator, and it was the first model they dropped with a button lock, and I called it out then, and then after that, it was like they cleaned it up, and they even, like, I think they even messaged me and said that they're gonna work on that, and I just basically stretched the spring, because I fixed it on camera, but then it came back. But to fix it, you can just stretch the spring, and it did work. It got solid, but then it quickly came back. So, it's the lock face geometry on that one. Then it's with the firecrackers. If y'all need a quality sharpening, ask Grumpy Kyle Coonley. No grumpy grunt. Civivi does amazing button locks. Even the micro milling on the actual buttons is pretty amazing. Yeah, they really do. They do a killer job. Have you ever heard of titanium scales for a mini roach? No, I haven't. But one place you always want to look, if you're ever looking for like a mystery knife, like a knife that you're not going to see on any other, scales or any, hardware or anything for, look on Etsy. They even have right now scales for the Vision FG. You can get, I think they might be titanium, I'm not sure, but Stasa got them. They might be aluminum. I'm not sure if they're titanium or aluminum, but they're metal, and they have frag pattern on them. I'm sure they have different ones too, but that's cool, right? Because I've actually thought about, I don't think it'll work though, swapping my titanium scales. No, that wouldn't work, because they don't have liners, I don't think, so that wouldn't work. But it'd be nice to have titanium for this, because to me, I like this so much better than the Wii version. Man, it kind of kills you too, because like, if you really like loved, the titanium version, then you got this, it like completely just destroyed everything that had. And now, they're still cool, like, it's still dope, but it ain't, it ain't as good. And it's crazy when the budget knife beats out the premium knife. That custom hinder you have is like a piece of art. You talking about this one, or are you talking about the other one? This one's got a Damascus scale. I need to strip the anno off of it and then reheat it up. I think that's all I have to do. Just take a torch to it. But you can see the colors, it's just died down because of, wear and tear. It's still there. You can still see the colors pretty good, but it could totally be a lot better. This thing's a beast, man. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, still got a fresh factory edge on both my 24s. I haven't used them that much, I've carried them here and there, but never enough to, to to where I'm really like using the shit out of them. ADV makes fantastic button locks. Yes, I agree. They do. But most of the ones I've tried from them too have had up and down play just a little bit, right? I'm not saying like that it's going to fail. I'm not saying that it's weak. I'm just saying like even like this one has a little tiny bit if I wiggle it. Now, it's solid, no play left or right. I can spine whack it. You know, it's good, great detent. Look at this detent. This thing has a solid, great sound too, or acoustics. The reverse flick, nice solid reverse flick, but it just is what it is. You know, it's kind of the problems. Like even like crossbar locks that happens to a lot. You know, hey, Scott became a member, man. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. We would normally be doing a members live tomorrow, or sorry, wait, yeah, tomorrow, but I have my family thing tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to. I'll be gone before we could even start. So I was going to take this live and actually make it a members live and just do a live sharpening. And I was like, you know, it's the holidays. I should, you know, spend it with everybody. And I'm sure the members want that. Playing with my Mordax right now, and it's rock solid. And it's the newer one, so the detent is on point. So my detent is great on my Mordax. But and I don't think I have up and down. What I have is bad detent lash. So I think I might have a little bit up and down, but I need to just send it in. It's my fault. It's not even their fault at this point. I've had it for so long and been bitching about it, and I just haven't sent it in. And I've sent knives to ProTech before with never any issues. I even had them do a reblade on a knife that I did a regrind on. They said, no problem. And they didn't know who I was. It wasn't like, you know, I was anybody at the time. So there you go, Todd. Shout out to Kyle. There's his sharpening if you want to get anything sharpened. I've been getting a lot of messages lately of people wanting some sharpening. Lots of messages. Let me see here. The Mordax is probably one of the best button locks ever, on par with some semi-customs. The Malibu's really good too. There's quite a few really good button locks though, you know. But yeah, I would agree with that. I would really agree with that if they would do two things. If they would, one, do a whole deployment or a thumb stud on there, fucking fire. That would be, and it'd be so easy for them to do. And then the second thing, if they put a hollow grind on that, oh my goodness. Member for 5 months. Neeves is the man and has the best moderators. Thank you, JD. I appreciate that, man. Yes, I do. I definitely have the best moderators. I'm gonna have to send them a gift for Christmas this year. Let's see here. How can a knife be so pretty but badass? Yeah, that's stupid nice. See, I think, you know, I guess, you know, like, to me, I have like an eye for things like, you know, like even like houses, like when me and Kara like take a walk or something like that, like I'll look at houses and like look at like the architecture and how it's built and just you know, the machining of things and even like little things like gadgets and gizmos. That's why I like watches, you know. I like looking at the build and how it's all put together, the mechanics of it. So just naturally, a knife, you know, it to me, I love it. It's eye appealing to me. It catches my eye immediately. You know, it's even like Anthony said, you know, when I did the video with Anthony, you know, the actor from Chicago, he was saying when he was a kid, his grandpa would pull out his pocket knife, you know, to cut an apple or do whatever. And he said he would just be mesmerized by it, you know, and that's how I feel like, you know, I've always been. I have an Atoma 140 Veneve Dragon 240 plus 400. The Atoma 140 and the Veneve Dragon 240, really good combination. So the 240 is basically a 600 and the 400 is a 1200 grit. So that's the way you want to look at that. You don't look at it like a 240 and a 400. That's a 600 and a 1200. You kind of, one way to kind of base those is just times it by 3. Now that's not perfectly accurate, but even though the micron range would technically be like 400 or something, in reality, when you look at the scratch pattern and you match it up, it matches up with 600 and 1200. As far as diamond goes, because regular stones or natural stones or aluminum oxide, their scratch pattern is much finer than a diamond. Anyways, if you were going to get another one, the next one you would want to get is the 800 and the 1200. That will get you to a mirror polish. Now, I will say this. I personally like having another grit in between the 140 and the 240. So you can either get another Veneve, which is very expensive, I know, or which so you don't have to do that, but it will last the longest. But you could just go with like a 300 grit of whatever, or a 400 grit, a Toma. Grab a 400 grit Toma. They got Tomas that are 400, so that would be perfect if you did that. And then go to the 240, just because that's a big jump from 140 to basically 600 grit. So personally, I like to go from my Toma 140 right to my lowest grit Veneve, which is, I don't know, like 100. It's 100, so it'll be like a 300. Dennis, thank you, man. Trust me, Kyle don't use pull-throughs no more. He stopped that. He stopped using the pull-throughs, but you got to watch him, though. He might relapse. I once asked Todd Carr how many of his knives had Punisher scales. He said all of them. How can a knife be? Oh, I already read that one. Oh, that's hilarious, man. Thanks for your videos, Jared. Makes me feel better. Miss my dad. Rest in peace. I appreciate that. And yeah, shout out to your pops and rest in peace to him. I know I definitely miss mine too. Kyle with the 2 bones. Dennis is a girl name. Denise is a girl name. But he's Austrian, so who knows? Seen him get hit in the nuts earlier on Instagram. He posted a video training a girl because he does Muay Thai. And that girl gave him an uppercut right to the nuts. Dennis with the 2 bones. How we say in Thailand, Meli Christmas, everyone. The flipper only aspect of the Malibu and Mordax is kind of a killer. Yeah, and well, because when they came out, remember both of those have been out for a while now, especially the Mordax. The Mordax was like one of the first button lock, like badass button locks where, and I said it before they brought out the Mordax, everybody was like saying, like, man, they need to make a premium button lock, because before that, they were mid-range. That's what you would see them as. Like they had the Griffin, the Real Steel Griffin. Real Steel did one. I got it too. It's a good knife, and they did do a premium one of that. But then finally, the Mordax came out. Medford did the fuck is it? The Smooth Criminal. But yeah, since it was so long ago, that's what was super popular at the time. But now, Evolve. Right. And the thing is that the Mordax is like, it's such a clean platform to do whatever you want with. They could do so much with that knife. Like you could even do different blade shapes. They could do Warncliffs, sheep's foot, spear points, so many different blade shapes. They could do different grinds, so much. Hole deployment, thumb studs. F400 is 1087 grit, but it's like the same as a 1200. Like I said, I know when you look up the microns, it says different. Like I said, like the 240 is like, I don't know, a 400 or something like that. But when you put it next to the scratch pattern and you look at it, under a microscope, it's basically a 1200 grit. So, and yeah. My Malibu had lock stick a big time. It went away. Mordax was money out of the box. Ziphius and Exiton are a little better. Bang, bang. Yeah, man. They're doing a great job with those. Now the problem, I don't know if it's a problem, but I kind of feel like it is. Other companies' button locks are not doing as well. So it makes some companies that are doing them well look bad, because now people will paint, the whole lock, you know, with that brush. So, which sucks for them. So I would like to, and I've thought about actually doing like an abusive test to like really, really see like, what it could handle. One of their button locks, and maybe some other locks too, just to kind of show like what it actually can do or can't do, not to like prove anything as far as like it's a weak lock or anything like that. Not to do that, but just to kind of show, like, because I've always been curious about that. I've always been curious, like, how much weight can a button lock hold? How much, I would imagine it's about the same as like a frame lock or a liner lock. I would imagine some frame locks are stronger, some button locks are stronger. It just depends. But since they're doing a good job with it, I think they'd be a good one to test. You took all of your knives down by the cow skull. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna move that. I'm moving both of those. I'm gonna about to very soon, probably in the beginning of the year. I'm gonna tear all this out. So, but yeah, I kept getting paranoid about them dropping on my feet because they're open. They're open knives right there, and you gotta understand. I walk right here, and I constantly back my chair up and stuff, and my brain like constantly was worried about it, like I couldn't stop, and I got PTSD from stepping on a knife. So the St. Nick's Knives 4V Mannix lightweight released last Friday, sold out in 3 hours. No shit. Hell yeah, they must not have had very many. I want to say the Pro Tech Cambria was one of the first manual button locks. I don't even remember that one. Huh. Yeah, you're probably right, because I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Does anyone know how Queen Kara is doing? She's doing okay. She's playing her game right now. I want to say Protect Camp. Oh, I already read that one. So if I want a good stone between the Atoma 140 and the Veneve 240, would the Veneve F80? Yes, that would be the best way to go. That would be the absolute best way to go. Yes, but if you don't want to spend that type of money, you could go with an Atoma 400 or something, or any 300 grit, because that's what you're going to be using it for. Now, the beautiful thing with the Veneves, if you get it, is that you can actually use those for reprofiling. Now, they're not as aggressive as an Atoma, but they are aggressive enough to reprofile on. I personally like using the Atoma because it cuts so much faster. But, the Veneves are great, and because they cut fast, and those stones will last so fucking long. Like, they are just stones, like, depending on how much you sharpen, it's possible they could last your whole life. Yes, I would. Absolutely. To be honest, 3 hours is forever in this market. 3 hours? The fuck you talking about? Rick says, evening. Want to say Merry Christmas to NeevesKnives and all my friends in the NeevesKnives chat. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody in here. Jared, are you going to get the crew card on Mannix 2XL? I'm trying. I did already. I pre-ordered it. What is your opinion of companies selling Damascus steel knives without disclosing what steels? I actually spoke about this the other day in a video. They had that. They did tell me what it was. I reached out to them and asked them, and they told me that it was the 10 CR, but nowhere on their site said it. And what I don't like about that is that it makes me feel like that they don't know anything about knives. So that, and I said all this in the video, and they contacted me and thanked me and said that they were gonna change that, and they said thank you for the tips and all this stuff, and they were gonna do better. And another company actually did the same thing. I'm trying to think what company it was. There was a company, I kind of just dragged their knife, and they contacted me, and said that thanks for all the tips and everything, blah blah blah. I forget what it was, but anyways, that company though was one of them, and they did that. And shout out to them, man. That's really good. When you can, just say, like, yeah, we fucked up or whatever. But yeah, it's not good because it makes it seem like you don't know anything about knives or steels. And then what are you doing selling knives if you don't know that, you know, it's like, now you might be able to pass that off to somebody who doesn't know anything about knives, but once somebody who knows anything about knives sees that, they're going to know you don't know anything about knives. So it just looks bad. It makes you look more like a salesman rather than a knife guy. And you'd rather be a knife guy that sells knives. Now, I know a lot of these places are just companies. They don't give a fuck about the knives. They give a fuck about the sales, right? I know that. But usually the owner of the company, at the very least, is very passionate about knives in most cases. Obviously not all, but most. And a lot of these guys have their families involved. So like, you know, it's a little bit of a lineage of people really liking knives. And then a lot of times the teams come in that they hire and they get usually, you know, like knives. And a lot of them stay in the knife industry for a long time. James K, thank you for the 5 members, man. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys have your thing turned on to receive gifts so that you guys can become members when people gift memberships. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to James K. In recent news, I signed/submitted a contract to exhibit at Blade Show Atlanta. So I'll see you there. Also doing a collab with Kurt American for the show. Funk, yeah, man. Good for you, man. That's awesome. When you're getting big enough to start buying booths and tables at Blade Show, that's awesome, man. Good for you, man. I'm very happy for you, and I yeah, I wish you the best, man. I hope you have nothing but success, and I truly mean that. Hands down, my favorite knife, the Cold Steel Recon 1. I would love the Code 4 in like a shark lock. I think that would be badass. That'd be like the ultimate knife to me. A lot of people have a very wrong idea of what Damascus is. It's not a material, it's a process, right? We need to know what materials are being used as consumers, right? Exactly. Exactly. When you say Damascus, you're not saying anything. All you're saying is a process, like say a cookie, right? Like a cookie, literally. It's like, what kind of cookie? Right? You could use a lot of different things, like that. But yeah, it's just a process. So if you just say Damascus, you're not saying anything. You're just saying, well, this has a blend of steels. So, okay, what steels are blended in it? What's the main steel? Because there's usually a main steel, right? There's a main steel, and then there's other steels added to create, the effect. Now, there's other ways to do it where they jacket it or where they do a core. So, like, say the core will be a hard steel so that it has a nice long holding edge, but the spine and the outsides are a tough steel, right? Sometimes they do stainlesses, so there's different ways they could do it, but they still, they're using some sort of steel. And what you don't want to hear is that it's Pakistani Damascus. Chris Jones with the 2 bones. Y'all are nuttier than a squirrel poop, and I love you. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Bones. I do appreciate it. Your top 10 slip joints in 30 seconds. Go. Jack Wolf knives. Done. I'm fast, man. I'm fast. I only needed 3 seconds. Yeah, that's it. Seriously. I mean, if I was gonna add anything, I'd maybe add that new QSP. I'm not really big into slip joints. I don't have enough of them to really like say. I have a couple other ones. Like I have what are they called? A JE. Is that what it's called? A JE. I have one of those. Which I do like. I think they did a really good job. That's a premium one. I have a Tucson one. I have a bunch of Jack Wolves. I do have a couple other ones, but Jack Wolf to me is just like the best. I think what is it? Pena has some good ones. Oh yeah, Pena came out with, check this out. Pena dropped a new knife. I'm not sure if it's a custom. I didn't look at it really that much, but we'll look at it right here. It is freaking dope. I personally like it. So let me share it with you guys. So it's this one right here. Look at this. So it is only a flipper, but Normally, he does these sleek, slim, long knives. This is more of a little bit beefier. I don't know the length, though, so I'm curious if this is a short knife. I'm hoping it's like 8 inches, or at least like 7.5. But there appears to only have been one. Is it a custom? Oh, it must be a custom if there was only one. Huh. Well, come on. Go back. Oh, I was trying to look up some more stuff, but let me go back to that really quick. So this is cool. I like this. Like, this is my style, man. I love that. I think that looks gorgeous. Just, that sleek. I love that swooping spine that's almost straight. That's eye appealing to me. This is pretty dope too. I like that. That's a fixed blade though. These are really cool knives. I've tried these. Pena does a good job. Shout out to Pena Knives. They do a really good job. All right. I'm sorry I'm backed up, guys. I'm going to catch up. So if anybody left a comment that they want me to read that I missed, just write it again, please. Bluetooth with the 5 bones. And Merry Christmas, Neeves, Knives, and everyone. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. And Happy New Year coming soon. Looks like a Pena diesel with a sheep's foot blade. Yeah. I believe in Santa and the bunny. The traumas of it all is where it all began. Oh, and fuck the fairy too. Quit telling people when there is awesome stuff on NAFSALE. Quit telling them. Quit. That's what you guys wanted to know. I'm trying to help you guys out here. Got a Grail knife in the mail today. Hell yeah, good for you. Full 80/20 full tie. Woo! Good for you, man. Good for you. That is, I know how it feels, man. I know how it feels. I freaking love the 80/20 full tie. I got the original goat scales, 100% USA made. Love this pattern that's on it. Really, man, this thing is just a damn vault. Listen to that lockup. I'm curious because I know they're so similar. Mine is just an absolute vault. I'm curious, what is stronger between the Shark Lock and Cold Steel's version? They're very similar, so they could be the same. I'm just curious, like, is there one that's better? T-Bone, thank you for the 5 bones, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, and you're very welcome. I do my best, and I appreciate that. Hoping I lost out on 3 knives I was going to buy. I'm sorry. I get it now. Yes, of course Santa's real. Now I'm hoping that this coming year, 2024 is even better than 2023. I really am. I do have a feeling there's, it's going to be a little slow in the beginning of the year, just because the times. And it's kind of weird. This happens, every 3 years, before the election. Shit kind of gets fucked up, especially on YouTube and Instagram and things like that. They start getting a lot more censory. They start becoming a lot more tyrannical. So, that does suck. But we'll see how it goes after 2024. But I'm hoping 2024 is a great year. I'm hoping everything goes well. I'm hoping I didn't just speak something into existence, because, I have a ton of awesome plans for 2024 that I'm really hoping to make happen, including a lot of knife designs. I'm hoping to do multiple different knife designs, some OEM work, and get some cool knife designs out there, and then get my own knife designs, a NEEVEKNIVECO knife, like literally my knife, obviously OEM'd and sold on, the site, and, also some collaborations with some companies. And then also, just, the channel, evolving the channel, maybe even get get a different place, I might be moving, looking for a place now. So we'll see how that goes. And, yeah, it's going to be fun. Brian, been a member for 9 months. Victor Rolf Flower Bomb or Burberry Her for the whiff. So I don't know, man. I haven't tried the Victor Flower Bomb. The Burberry, I've tried. But I don't remember it that much, man. It was a sample. NeevesKnives, a proud sponsor of Trump 2024. I am. Yes, I am. I like Vivek too, though. I do like Vivek, and I'm not scared to say it. I don't give a fuck. Because I don't think anybody has to agree with me. I don't give a shit if you agree with me or not. It's kind of like religion, like I don't fucking, I'm not a Christian because you care if I'm, what I mean? Like it doesn't make no sense. So like, anybody can be mad at that, and some people do. I understand there's some people that take it like as if it's a religion. I don't. I believe in freedom, and I'm 100% a freedom person. You have the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want. Stay out of my business and I'll do whatever I want. And you stay out of mine. Like that's the way I feel about pretty much everything. So, and the thing is that I personally think that we can always communicate and just talk about things. Like if just because like core values are one thing, maybe there's 2 different core values. That doesn't mean there's not a lot in between that can be negotiated. Vivek is pretty solid. I agree. I'm very happy that he's running because I believe that he's not running for this year, but running for the next election. However, I do like that he's kind of a second bullet in the chamber, Paco Rabanne 1 million Royal. I'd go with Lucky. I like Royal too, but Lucky's better in my opinion. I think Lucky's the best one they do. I got 3 of them. I have Lucky and then 2 of the gold bottles. Yeah, the Lucky's the best. Now we do have a fragrance we're going to talk about. We'll talk about fragrances here in just a minute. I got some over here, and we got a good story for story time. Well, I don't know about a good one. It's not much for Christmas, but we're going to do it anyways. Jared, my crew card of Manix 2XL is coming December 27th. I ordered it 2 days ago. Really? I wonder if mine went through. I didn't even check. Hopefully mine went through. Hopefully it didn't fuck me over again because I don't know if you guys remember, but the last few times I've pre-ordered something on Blade HQ, for some reason it keeps defaulting to the card I had to close because it was compromised. So it keeps like defaulting back to that damn card, and it's like that card doesn't exist anymore. So it's like then the thing doesn't go through. I don't know, man. I'm hoping it worked out. I don't even want to have to think about politics, but COVID scam, climate scam, inflation says otherwise. Dude, I can't agree with you more. I think that a lot of that stuff is what made me even think about it. I've never, my entire life, I didn't even know the difference between right, left, Republican, Democrat. I didn't know. I had no idea. Didn't have a clue. I literally, when me and Kara met, I asked her because I didn't know. But what made me start looking into it was all the bullshit. And then I started deep diving into it because I felt like it was for my best interest. And boy, was it. And yeah, it completely, and I didn't go down one because I didn't have a side. So it's not like I went down one rabbit hole and not the other. No, I went down both thoroughly with a very open mind. So, and I think if most people do that, they'll come to a specific conclusion, but you have to be willing to be wrong, and I completely was wrong about a lot of things because I didn't know shit. So I guess I had the argument of ignorance, but even if you think it's still good to just go in it, because to me, even like now, like the way I feel, like if something changed tomorrow, I could totally change my mind on things, as long as you're honest with yourself. I don't believe in anybody being diehard for one thing, because if you're too diehard for one thing, then if that place or person or whatever turns bad, you're not going to see it. So I think it's good to have an open eye and know what's good for you, you know, always, you know, and not be blinded. And a lot of people are. A lot of people are. I mean, Chicago proves it. Fucking Chicago proves it big time. Oh man. James K with another 2 bones. Jared, please tell the story about the year you saved Christmas. I don't know if that's a story I have. I don't know if I have really any Christmas stories. Every Christmas I do the same thing. I've done the same thing since I was a kid. Christmas Eve, I go with my dad's side of the family and we party, we play cards, we eat, we kick it, we hang out, and we party hard and have a great time and have a blast, exchange gifts, all that stuff. Christmas Day, that's when I spend time with immediate family. It was always my mom's house. Growing up, I always did my mom on that day, but my mom's a couple hours away, so I'll have to do it, you know, probably after New Year's or something, which is the way we've done it the past few years. But like I'll spend it with like Kara's family or something. I'm sorry, Jared. That sounds very beta. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Beta. There is no right or left. Yes, that's so true. That's what I mean. Like, don't get blinded by the sides. Exactly. There is no right or left. You're right. There absolutely is not. There's corporations. There's corporations that have people in their pockets. That's it. And they, depending on when and how, depends on what, you know, who they have in their pockets. Yeah, you do have to kind of look through the flames. I say the way you find out, to me, this is the way I look at it. Whatever side or whatever is giving me freedoms, that's the one I want to go for. Any one of them trying to restrict things, I don't care what it is. Whoever's restricting, that's the one I'm against, because I believe that's just it's such a slippery slope. So I try to go with the ones that are being the most honest. That's it. It's pretty simple, because you know, as long as you're being honest and also like wanting to know the truth, right? Like, not trying to, like, because like, say if something makes your idea or whatever look bad, then you totally neglect it. To me, that just screams, you know, red flags. Like, why don't you want to look into this or hear about it or debate it or whatever? You know, you have to be willing to debate. Apparently the Blade HQ storefront here in Utah opened back up this month. I'll have to go check it out. Yeah, I heard that, and I heard, well, they did a video showing that like they built like a bigger storefront or something. Bone says, quote of the day. I may disagree with what you say or believe, but I will defend with my life. You're right to say, yeah, I agree. That is absolutely how I feel. But I think you have to go with that all the way. I don't think you can say that and then in the same breath be against certain things. Like, you can be against it morally, but not against the person being able to you know, express it. Honestly, what's everyone's opinion on the lock failing on the Reich T1000? You mean the React T1000? Cutting board reviews did a video. I did not see that. Maybe we'll check it out right now. David, thank you for the 10 bones, man. I appreciate it. Holy shit. Thank you, man. Merry Christmas to you. Is S110V a great steal for EDC, or is it really that chippy? So this is the thing. One, S110V is a little finicky to sharpen. I'll tell you how to sharpen it, just in case if you do have it, because I know the trick. But aside from that, it's chippy if you use it tough. As long as you use it for cutting purposes only, cardboard, plastic, wood, things like that, like literally the materials that a knife is made for, as long as that's all you're cutting, it's fine. It's a good steel. However, if you are hitting staples, hitting, you know, rocks or, you know, dirt, anything, you know, that knives are not supposed to be hitting, then yes, it's chippy. So you just gotta, you know, you gotta look at it like that and make sure that what you use it for is definitely going to be something that it's intended for. And in that case, it holds an edge like a son of a bitch. It really does. Now, it likes a toothy edge the most. It can take a polished edge very well. It takes a ridiculously sharp polished edge, but it loses it immediately. That's a steel that will get very slick if you polish it and then use it. So you want to make sure you put a toothy edge on it, medium grit to toothy edge, 400, I'd say 400 to 600 grit. Now, as far as the way you sharpen it is when you get to your final burr, you can fatigue it a little bit, but you're not going to pop it. It doesn't pop. So after fatiguing the burr, bang, bang, a couple times, then you don't remove it, right? Because it's not going to come off. It's just going to sit there and come back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for days. So after that, you take it to the strop, and the strop will remove it. It's weird because that's the only steel I've ever seen that is like that. Obviously, you clean up any steel with a strop, but every other steel, especially hard steels like that, they normally their burrs pop off. That burr doesn't. It hangs on for dear life. Antimatter's been a member for 21 months. A shout out to you, man. Thank you for all the support. Sorry I haven't been around much. Happy holidays to the knife community. You guys are the best, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for all the support for so long, man. Too many people don't look for real truth, only whatever media they're blind by. Yes, yes, yes. That's very true. And that's what I mean. You can't be that way. Try not to do that. And listen, I'm guilty of it too, man. I've done that. I've fucking done it 100%. And I find myself even still doing it, but I try not to. I try to, because I don't want to be like a party that I don't like, right? I don't want to turn into them. And I've seen some things that, you know, that we've done that do that. And I don't like it. And I'm guilty of it too, you know? So, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm still an MC, but came here to see. Is he live right now? That son of a bitch. He's trying to sabotage me. He's been trying to sabotage me all year. Let me see really quick. I'm just trying to pull up the live. I'm not going to his channel right now. Come on. All right, we have 131 in here watching. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys for the support. Train derailment. Maui fires aliens, Hamas and Palestine, Ukraine border issues. P. Diddy, Will Smith slap COVID, then vaccines, rich bunker, Epstein flight logs, etc. These are all distractions. Fucking right they are. Every single one you just mentioned. I would say there's only one in there that's not a distraction. You're actually wrong. You're wrong about one, and that is COVID. COVID was just an absolute setup. That wasn't a distraction. That was a setup. That was a get rich scheme. You know, you could say a lot of the what the fuck's it called? With the heat like going up, whatever the hell it's climate control or climate whatever. That I think is a big money grab too. But yeah, that was just a big money scheme. That's all that was. That was a get rich thing. That's what that was. And boy did they. Boy did they. Fucking everybody did, man. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to talk about it. Like it makes my stomach hurt because I seen it so early. You know, I seen right through it so early, and I'm not trying to brag, you know. I know a lot of other people did too. I think everybody did. I think we were all just on the fence. Like, I feel like this is bullshit, right? But you're like, maybe it might be real. I was prepared to do the 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks, I said, okay, 2 weeks off of work, you know, for a life threat. Like to me, it was serious at that time. I was like, okay. As soon as that 2 weeks was up, that was the last time I dealt with it. I swear to God, I didn't care. I've gotten into fights over it. I didn't give a shit. I was literally ready to fist fight, not to wear a damn mask. I didn't give a fuck. And you know, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like to me, I was healthy as shit. I didn't care if I caught it. Like I felt good. I was healthy, and I still haven't caught it. I can't catch it, to be honest. But I didn't know that at the time. But still though, you know, it's just a point. Like I was refusing to wear them. There was a couple times I wore it in the store just like so I didn't get into an argument, but I was kicking myself in the ass the whole time for being a bitch. I was trying for 2 weeks to break in my Rex 45 Manic Stormtrooper lightweight. Then I read on some forums about loosening the lock bar screws. Yeah, I said that on the last live. By a fraction of a turn. Yeah. That's actually literally what I said last live. Somebody asked me the same exact thing, and I said, yeah, just take that back screw, not the pivot one, but you could do the pivot one too. But usually it's between the pivot or that screw, the screw right behind the pivot. Just a little turn, and yeah, it'll start free falling. Mine, that's what I do to mine, and they're still rock solid. Dennis with the 2 bones. Merry Christmas, Maurice. Yes, Merry Christmas to Maurice, man. Shout out to Maurice. NAFSALE officials in the house with the 10 bones. Merry Christmas, Neeves crew. Merry Christmas to you. And yeah, we actually featured your site in today's video, or earlier, the one I posted earlier. Shout out to NAFSALE.com, man. They got some awesome stuff on there right now. American Blade Works Model 1 titaniums. I got one right here. Bang. They got some of these in stock. What else do they got in stock? They got a bunch of stuff in stock. They got a Holt. They got a MSI, a Stitch. Unless if they're gone now. They might be, because I did post them in that video earlier. They even have what I'm carrying right now. A Jutland. I think it's a brand new Jutland too, because the giant mouses on there are brand new giant mouses. They have this version, which I don't think you can find this version even on maybe on Giant Mouse's website, but I don't know. But every one of my links that I check, I can't find this version. This is my favorite version. Now, some people are going to ask, well, what about the burlap version? I have 2 of them. I have 2 burlaps, and both of them are not as good as this one. They're just, I don't know why, or maybe it's just mine, but I've tried 2, and they were both very similar. Their detent was not as crispy as this one. They're just not as smooth. They feel a little bit rusty. Like, not that they're rusty, you know what I mean, though. Like, they don't feel as premium as this one. And this one just, man, it feels so premium. So I like that one better. That was the beginning of distractions, bro. Oh, thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know a lot of people like to only come in for giveaways. It's okay. It's okay. I know they watch. So that's what's important. People don't have to come here. Cue Ball with the 10 bones. Wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, man. Thank you for the 10 bones. I appreciate the Christmas gift. Shout out to everybody giving me some Christmas gifts. I do appreciate it. Dude, I didn't get any notifications about you going live. Oh, shit. What did I miss? Brandon, why didn't you get a notification? Are you, did you not hit the bell? Why don't you turn it off and turn it back on? Hey, Neeves, want to say thank you for checking out my prototypes. Yeah, I got it right here. Extremely surreal to see my own design on your channel. Who have watched since the start of my knife collection? Yeah, it's a great design, man. You did a killer job on this thing. This thing is an absolute winner. And I forgot to mention in the video, guys, I did put a note in the comments, and I pinned it, that some of the things that I mentioned for negatives are being changed, like the choil. There was a couple other things, the clip placement. I said the clip could be longer. I didn't think I bitched about the clip placement. I personally don't mind the clip placement, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, because of the angle, because, you know, it's supposed to be angled this way. So there are some little changes, but this is a prototype. Pre-orders are opening up in January, so, you know, that's to be expected. And that's, you know, what I do. Like, when I get a prototype, what I'm supposed to do is come up with the things that I think will make it better, right? Like, that's, you know, without changing the design, obviously. Because that, oh man, it's so damn smooth. It's a really good one, man. This one's absolute banger right here. I clicked on somebody's comment. Now it just jumped. I'm sorry that I clicked on your comment and clicked off. Of course I hit the bell, brother. We'll try turning it off and turning it back on. Sometimes that happens, or where you have to unsubscribe and subscribe back. If you ever wonder how many whiskeys it takes before you sexually violate your neighbor's inflatable reindeer decoration, it's 6. 6 to be exact. If you're on your 7th, it's already happened. And I'm actually going to take the clip and extend it because it's short. That's what I was saying. Extend it a little bit. Then, and really the reason why I think, you know, with the short clips, it's just hard for a titanium clip to get enough spring tension when it's short. When it's short, they're just so strong. Now yours wasn't bad, but if you had it extended, it would be even better. You know, that's the thing. Because, you know, when you talk about improvements, in many cases, it doesn't mean it's bad, right? It just means that this could be even better, right? And that doesn't mean that this is bad. Spanky coming in hot with the Christmas gifts. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the 10 bones. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Rex 45 is a nice steel, though. Seems like the high heat tolerance is supposed to have reduced chances of getting a burnt factory edge. I only have needed to strap after cutting board. So I'll say this. I have multiple, right? I have coated and non-coated. My non-coated blades, I'm just guessing that they have had either one. So it could be one of two things. Either one, it had a burnt edge, or two, they didn't deburr properly. So because that's another thing, like a lot of times, like when you have an edge that say doesn't hold up very well, maybe starts microchipping or gets dull really quick, in a lot of cases it's just the deburring process, how you remove the burr, how you came up with the burr, and how it was removed, because that is so important, right? Like the difference between a properly burr removal and an improper one is like night and day for like how your edge sharpness is going to be, how it's going to hold up, whether or not it's going to microchip, and so on. So that could be it. But my other one, man, I just stripped the edge the other day because I'm forcing myself to sharpen it because it won't fucking go away. It won't go dull. And I want to sharpen it so bad. And I want to sharpen my black one because that's the one that had the longest. Even though my satin one could use the sharpening more, but now I've wrecked the edge, so I have to. Sorry, I'm eating, guys. I know it's kind of a shitty thing to do on a live. Is Spyderco's crewwear corrosion resistance? No. I know crewwear isn't that corrosion resistance, but Spyderco's, no, it's not. You just, as long as you keep it oil, keep it dry, it's fine. I mean, it depends on where you live too. Like if you live in a very high humidity place or with lots of salt water or anything like that, then you're gonna want to oil it more often. I don't have a problem with it. Shit, even my 3V, I got 3V that I've just always kept dry. It doesn't even have any patina on it. I gave up and bought a 3-stage electric sharpener. Not good, man. You shouldn't have gave up. You should have just got a fixed angled system. Just got a fixed angled system. That's all you had to do. You don't got to get a the thing is can you get a decent edge with an electric sharpener? Yes, if it's a belt driven one, right? If it's not a belt driven one, I say no, you can't. But if it's a belt driven one, you can get basically as good as a factory edge. Now, a stone edge, an edge done on a stone, will always be superior in every single way. Sharpness, edge retention, everything. The only, like, a belt might be a little tougher if it's a convex belt, but you can convex an edge freehand, so, or with a fixed angle system. Spank you with another Christmas gift. Thank you for the 10 bones. Kara, this $10 is for you, for my stupid ass misspelling your name. Merry Christmas. Or Kara, this is okay. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Merry Christmas to you. Hey, Jared. And what the hell just happened? Uncle Kenny says, hey, Jared and Kara and everyone, Merry Christmas. Shout out to you, Uncle Kenny. I got an Uncle Kenny. Okay. I'm going to answer this question, then we're going to get to fragrance of the day and story time. Well, we got a few minutes for story time, but Jared, what do you think? What are you thinking the wee snick It's on sale and I'm thinking about it. Let me just so I'm remembering it correctly. Oh, yeah, it's good. I don't think I own one, but I have tried it. One thing I did like about it is it's easy to reverse flick off the blade. So it is a good one. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's a great knife, but I will say this. There's a Civivi version that's also really good. It's not called the Civivi Snick or anything, but it's literally the same knife, just it's basically the same knife. Maybe not the exact same, but it's very similar, just in a budget form, and it's really good. But yeah, it's a good knife. Oh, there's my mother. Merry Christmas, sweetheart. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. Thank you, Mom. Love you. And I hope you're having or going to have a great holiday. Belt works on machetes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Belt works on machetes. Anything really thick, anything really big. I do think, like depending on how thick it is, you can, freehand a lot of that stuff. But usually with heavy duty choppers, they are so thick that, they're nearly impossible to sharpen any other way but on a belt. And I agree with that. Like, that's how I sharpen all my big knives is on a belt, like if they're big and thick. Now, if they're thin, I'll do them on a stone. I've actually thought about doing the Quichetti. Where is that damn thing? I thought I had it right here. Yeah. I thought about doing the Quichetti on the stone, literally sharpening it on the stone and teaching people how to sharpen a short sword. It's 154 cm and it's still pretty sharp, but I could always sharpen it just for shits and giggles. I'll tell you one knife that's actually kick-ass this year, the NEEVEKNIVECO. And yes, we do have a couple on the NEEVEKNIVECO site. So, bang gang. This is one of, if not the best knife of the year. I think they did such a killer job on it. I've been screaming about it since Blade Show, since the prototypes at Blade Show. And this has been one of my most, so between 3 knives, maybe 4, between 4 knives are my most carried as far as recent. Between this, the Rex 45 Mannix, the Cubit, and then what was the other one I was thinking of? No, I can't remember. I know I was carrying the Nixuzia for a little bit, but that's not what I was thinking about. Oh, the Hogue Deca. The Hogue Deca. I was carrying the Hogue Deca and the Cubit back to back. This I love because this is a knife that I like carrying because it's a great blade and great size, great everything for use. So this is a very capable knife. Mine has still a very sharp edge. I've honed it and stropped it and it keeps coming back. I feel like the heat treat's pretty good on this. But the next thing is that if I hand it to somebody and I want to show off a knife, this is a good one to do that with because the action is so good, they can't fail it. I can't tell you how many times I'll hand a knife to somebody that has good action, like literally great action, and they'll come in and fail it like that. Like, damn it, how do you not know how to flick a damn knife open? Here's a Shurogorov F95 frag. Fucking phenomenal. I've thought about putting an edge on this thing. I've kept it fresh for a couple reasons, so it still has the factory edge, but I have used it and it needs an edge because I've been using it for like since I got it, but lately, I've honed it, I've stropped it, but it still has the factory edge, but it's not very sharp anymore. So it kind of needs a new edge, but I've liked keeping it pristine, and it was always like that just in case if something happens and just in case if like something comes up and I want to trade it or something. But like I don't want to do that because I love it so much. So it's almost like I won't do that. I've been offered so much for it. I've never accepted it, but there's always that what ifs. NeevesKnives Live are some of the most informative lives out there. Thank you, man. Oh, we gotta check out that video. Whose channel was it? For the video on the T1000. Maybe I can just look up T1000 knife failing. Somebody put it in the chat. Whose channel was that? T1000 lock failing. Let's see if this will. No. All right, somebody's got to give me the name of the channel. I can't find it. They don't know how to do the descriptions, obviously. Fucking around. Is it? It's a REACT, right? The REACT. Let's see if we do that. Nope. Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. No, that's an EXO. Fucker cheated me. All right, so let me see whose channel was it? Oh, Cutting Board Reviews. Thank you.
And give it a whirl. Let's see how it will do. Before I leave the comfort of my studio, which is also happens to be my living room, I have to tell you a couple facts about this knife. So the knife is 11 ounces heavy. It's huge. Very thick blade, almost a 1/4 inch, just a hair under 1/4 inch blade. Intangibles that we're
shout out to Cutting Board Reviews. Definitely go and check him out. Give him a subscribe. He's recently done a couple other videos that I thought were pretty good. He did one on the MSI failure. He had MSI that was failing pretty easily, and he did fix it. At least for the most part, at least to my knowledge, he did. He sanded down the lock face, which I do talk about often, that if you do that, that can help. What he did was he allowed it to get more lock engagement with the way he sanded it. But in many cases, you can sand it to create grit, to create friction. When the two lock faces or the two, the two steels contact, it creates a friction between them. All right, so check them out.
Coolness, historical.
All right, we gotta get this down.
Coconut shell, in case you never had to deal with it, is extremely hard. It's brittle, but very, very hard, and it has a pretty high yield strength. So in other words, to get it to crack takes a lot of force. And to do it with a knife, what I'm doing here is a traditional way of opening so that you don't spill the liquid. This particular coconut is dry and old. But anyway, that's how you would open it in the wild so that you don't lose the liquid. You open the tip, you pry it open, bam, like this.
Sorry.
There's no liquid in this one, and it's moldy, but let's continue anyway. And to get to the meat of the nut, you need to crack it, whack it on the spine, one of the 3 spines. And I'm going to do something I don't recommend doing, using the sharpened end of the blade. Boom. This T1000 made it look easy. In my previous attempts, it took a lot more than just one whack. And checking the blade for play, nothing wrong with the blade. Knife is as it was. And here's the most important part of the test: chopping, batoning.
Joshua, thank you, man. I'm going to get your comment.
There's a lot of buzz about this knife on the social media, and there's a lot of anecdotal speculation that this knife will withstand any abuse almost as well or as well as a fixed blade because of these 2 pins. And that's exactly what I'm trying to establish today. Okay, if like me, you already purchased this knife and spend your hard-earned $500 or so on this interesting item, and you don't want to hear bad news, now is the time to stop and exit and watch something else, some other reviewer who is blowing smoke up Riyadh's ass. I will not do it, and from here, the news aren't great. So those of you who want to see what happens, stick around. The rest of you, have a nice evening or whatever time of the day it is. So at this point, I'm starting to notice that the pins are slowly but surely working their way outwards into unlock position.
Shout out to Fred in Brazil, man. I'm sorry to hear that, but no, because I don't think it'll make it.
So I keep checking, but
I don't think Brazil will allow me to ship you a knife.
I'm not
because it's a communist country.
correcting the pins because that's the purpose of the test. As you can see, I am not inflicting a lot of force on this knife. This is a very lightweight baton, weighs less than a pound, about 10.5 ounces. And so
He weighed it.
this is nothing that would be exuberant or excessive here. Not trying to break the knife, just trying to check functionality. And by now I'm noticing that the pins are basically out. Let me show you. And therefore, I'm going to continue without pushing the pins back in just to see what happens with the knife. And from that point on, it acts like any frame lock knife, which you are not holding locked in your fist.
Whoa.
It just unlocks very easily.
So wait. So that was without the pins. Did I catch that right? Hold on.
And by now I'm noticing that the pins are basically out. Let me show you.
Oh, the pins are popping out. Oh.
And therefore, I'm going to continue without pushing the pins back in just to see what happens with the knife.
Oh.
And from that point on, it acts like any frame lock knife, which you are not holding locked in your fist. It just unlocks very easily.
Yeah, the way you're supposed to, if you're going to baton with a frame lock, just so you guys know, always disengage it. What you want to do is, this is how you baton with a frame lock. If you actually want to baton with it, disengage the lock and baton like this. I know it's weird because you're like, why would I want to baton like this? Because then you can baton with the blade and the impact will never hit the lock. So that's just one way to do it so that you don't destroy your lock.
So what have we learned here? Using it in an outdoor scenario does cause the pins to walk out and unlock the knife. And from that point on, it acts as badly as any frame lock knife that you can possibly buy, starting with a $20 model.
I would say,
obviously,
let me finish this first.
Working on a coconut was not even a serious task for this knife. And let me look at the aftermath.
That Tri-State, that's exactly what I was about to say. He says the pins popped out, but realistically, you'd be holding the knife and keeping pressure on. So I was kind of going to say that, like, if you see the pins starting to pop out, you just push them back in, right? So as long as the pins are in, it's going to work. Now, this same theory and why, you know, like how they are popping out, I've thought about with some of these other knives that are using pins and different things. Like, are they actually really strong? Because just because they seem like they're going to be strong doesn't mean they will be strong. So with something like this, obviously the impact makes the pins pop out. You can always just push them back in. If the pin was locked, then that wouldn't happen. So that would be kind of the way to fix it, I guess. I want to live where he lives. Nice looking place. It does look pretty beautiful, right? I've tested 20 folders and all, but 2 are tougher than the T1000. What are the 2? I'm guessing a cold steel and the 80-20. All right, let's hurry up and finish this.
I have to say,
See what he says.
see, there's no play either up or down or side to side. Good things. This blade is
And keep your fingers out of the damn way, guys. I can't stand seeing that. And I think he just recently cut himself with the MSI doing that. He had his fingers in the way and hit the lock and or hit the blade or whatever, and it cut him. I've done it too, but that's why I know keep my fucking fingers out of the way. When you check a knife, always just grab it from the spine. Keep that blade free. Don't go like this and check it. For one, you don't, especially with a frame lock, you're squeezing the lock tighter. So, you know, that's one thing why you don't want to do it. But the other thing, the most important part, is you don't want to do it like this, because when it fails, which eventually a lock is going to fail, you're going to cut yourself. And I've done it, and that's what told me, don't do that again.
great. Whatever they did with the heat treat grind, everything sort of combined together into this perfect essence of a knife blade. It's chunky, it's beautiful, it's extremely well ground, symmetric anywhere I look. And after
All right, shout out to him. I think he's got a great channel, and I love that he's being very honest and testing things. So shout out to him. I've watched a few of his videos, and it seems like he's been very, very honest with everything. And in the beginning, when you have a small channel, which not saying like he's a small channel, but in the beginning, when you start a channel, it's easy to be honest all the way through, but it's easier to be honest, right? It's easier to be honest when you're starting a channel out and everything. But as you grow, it does get more difficult. Now I think it's very easy to not, worry about that and just hold true to your values. But there is that thing where a company sends you a knife and you kind of feel bad if you drag it. But what I say is that if you do drag it because you don't like it or for whatever reason, that's only going to be a good thing, because one, it'll prove to the audience that you're being faithful and being honest, but another thing, it'll prove to the company that you're going to be honest. Which I've had to do multiple times. And, some companies are great. Some companies, like, they literally thank you. They're really cool. They continue to send products. Some companies will never send you another product again. Like, literally, once they find out you're honest, they're like, fuck this guy. He's not only going to test it, he's going to tell the truth. No, we can't have that. So it exposes them. So the good companies stick around, though. Jim, thank you for the Christmas gift, man. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas to all the bang gangers. Shout out to you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Coming from the guy stepping on knives. Oh, we got jokes. But hey, I had to do the test, though, right? It was a test. He actually cut one of his fingers off completely. That guy? We're talking about somebody else. My grandpa had his finger cut off all the way. $20 is $20. All right. How's your tissue bot? What the fuck? Jared versus Hinder drama. Let's go. Jared versus Hinder drama. I don't have any Hinder drama. The only drama I have is just, one, my damn lock is failing pretty easily on my Project X. But I don't know if that'd be very controversial or not. It's a frame lock, so but it's supposed to be a hard use knife. So I guess my problem is why does it have thick geometry if it's not going to have a strong lockup? Now I'm sure I could fix that. I could rough up the surface, So I don't know. What's my Christmas plans? I'm going with family. Like every year. We go play cards, kick it, party, hang out. Similar to all. All right, so let's get to fragrance of the day, and then we'll get to story time. We do have a story for tonight. Really quickly. So I have a couple different fragrances here, so I guess this isn't going to be super quickly, but there's a fragrance that if you buy a fragrance from I forget what fragrance place it is. It's basically just whatever. It's the fragrance place you'll probably see if you look up any fragrance. It's like Fragranta or something, something like that. Anyways, if you order something from them, they will send you a sample of this. So they send a sample with basically every order you purchase. I've got like 100 samples of this, but I actually bought one bottle when I tried the sample because I actually thought it was pretty good. Now it's a very soapy, clean type of fragrance. It is a man's fragrance, so it kind of smells like a not Dove, like an Irish Spring soap or something. That's kind of what it smells like, at least to me. It's a little citrusy, but it's just basically like a soapy scent, so it smells like you're fresh out of the shower. It's really good though, and it's super affordable. This big bottle's I think like $50. Now, I wouldn't say buy it. I would say buy something else and get the sample and try it. Now the one I am going to talk about, actually, I'm going to talk about the one I'm wearing, and we're going to talk about this one. Invictus. So this is Invictus EDP. Now, Invictus EDP, this is a very highly regarded men's fragrance. This one is, let me just pull up the notes. It has a little bit of like vanilla in it with a lot of freshness. But it is absolutely fire. Oh, that's the wrong one. We need, is it Victory? Yeah. There we go. All right. So it's a really good fragrance. I definitely recommend this. I did link it down in the description if anybody wants to try it. It's not very expensive. But here's the note breakdown. You can see it, vanilla right off the bat. You can smell it right off the top. Vanilla, amber, sweet, aromatic, soft, spicy, lavender, powdery, fresh, spicy, citrus, and balsamic. I'd say the vanilla, amber, sweet, and then soft, spicy really, and the lavender winds up coming out in the end. But it is a really good scent. It's soft. It's not very loud. It's a little bit more subdued, but it's, you know, it's got like a very light vanilla, a little bit of sweetness, and then like a little bit of freshness. But the way it's blended together, it does work very well. I'd say the occasions to wear this would be, you could wear it on a date night for sure. It's definitely one that somebody probably want to get a little bit close to you, but you could totally just wear this as a signature scent. You know, like I feel like this would go good with like a suede coat or a leather coat. You know, it'd probably go good with, you know, just, you know, when you're, you know, dressing up for a nice occasion, like say if you're going to Christmas or something like that, or a New Year's party or something, it feels like it'd be good for that. But then it also feels like it'd be good for just day to day, because like I said, it's not loud. It's not loud at all. And it's something that everybody's going to like. Nobody will hate this. This is a good fragrance. So shout out to Invictus. Now, the one I'm wearing right now is actually the same one I was wearing the other day. I got a mixture blend, but there's another fragrance I want to show you guys that I linked down in the description. So the other day, I showed you guys the HARAMAIN Amber Oud Ruby Edition. This is a Baccarat Rouge 540 clone. And Baccarat Rouge 540 is like 500 or like 450 bucks or something. This stuff's like 50 bucks, very cheap, but really good fragrance. It's super sweet. It's like candy sweet, but it's really good. It's like this one's thicker and more resiny, and we're going to talk about what that means here in a second. But I mix it with Mansell Red Tobacco, which is a super spicy, super loud, super powerful, obnoxious tobacco fragrance. This is a 24-40. It's like a 48-hour fragrance. Like, I don't even know why I sprayed another spray. I'm kind of stupid for doing that. But what I do is I pop 1 or 2 sprays. That's it. If you put 3, you're going to fuck something up. And then I put a couple sprays of this. So I do 1 or 2 of that, then a couple of this. This just adds, because this has a light sweetness. So it's sweet, spicy, and tobacco. That's exactly what it is. So you will, if you tried it, you would say the exact same thing. You'd be like, oh, it's a sweet, spicy tobacco. Heavy on the tobacco side, heavy on the sweetness, heavy on the spicy. Now, because of those other two, the tobacco and the spicy, it kind of subdues the sweetness, but the sweetness comes out as time goes on. Like after an hour, it just gets better. Actually, after like 20 minutes, it just gets better and better and better, better, all the way to like the next day. You know, by the next day, you're still smelling fucking good. So I love it for that reason. Now, when you mix it with this, it winds up turning it into it winds up sweetening it up a little bit right off the bat. So basically, it's just, you know, just a sweeter version. Now, this is, like I said, a little bit more thicker and resiny, which I like. Now, there is Club D'Uni Untold, which is a clone of Baccarat Rouge 542. Now, this is the original Baccarat Rouge 540, which was more airy. So this one is very similar to this, except for not as thick. It's light. It's very, very airy. Like literally, like when you spray, you're almost like looking for it, because you can smell a sweetness, but it's like, it's almost like it disappears. And that's the way it is. The sweetness still stays on you, but it's very airy. It's not something that like this one, people will smell you like within like 5-6 feet. This one, they're gonna have to get close to you. So that's kind of the idea. And like I said, I like this one more because it is thicker, and I can notice it more, and it's just, to me, it gets a little bit more attention. This one's just not as loud. Like I said, a lot more. It's the same scent, same exact scent, just subdued and airy. Anyways, those were the fragrances of the day today. I did link everything down in the description except for the red tobacco. Go and buy this somewhere else because it's way too expensive on any link I can provide, but you can get it for a lot cheaper. Look at this magnetic top. Listen to the detent. Does this one have a magnetic top? No. All right. NeevesKnives would be a great side channel. What the fuck? Oh, Neeves knows. Neeves knows. Not a bad one. I like it. Jared's clone channel. Neeves knows. You can have that for free. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I'm stuck on Spice Bomb Extreme, aka the Sex Bomb. Yeah, I like Spice Bomb, but I like Azaro Wanted by Night better. And I like Alexandria Brooklyn fragrance. I like that even better. So I like that one the most. Then Azaro Wanted by Night, and then the Sex Bomb. But as far as spicy sweet fragrances, man, you have to like tobacco with this one though. So does anybody else's significant other give you shit for fidgeting with your knives all the time? I'm lucky she doesn't hate for the amount. Thank you, T-Bone with the 5 bones. T-Bone with the 5 bones. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think everybody gets annoyed with that eventually. But what can you do, man? What can you do besides flick your knife even more? It's like kind of like that thing when they tell you not to look or not to touch something. It's like, oh, now I have to. I had to restock red tobacco a couple weeks ago. Bang. Yeah, dude. I can't believe you made it through a bottle. I made it through a tester, so I guess I understand. Maybe yours was a tester. I had a tester that I made it through. But this bottle will probably last me 5 years. Like, this is so, it's just way too powerful not to, It's not something I'll wear every day, so it's not like, to me, this is definitely not a signature scent. Not that somebody couldn't pull it off as a signature scent. A lot of people actually could. Azaro, the most wanted is my shiz. Tis the season, but I keep getting rejected at the worst possible times. Oh man. My girlfriend says it's soothing. Nice. You got a good girlfriend then. Shout out to your girlfriend. Sounds like she's a keeper. Yeah, Kara doesn't say anything to me that she has, like, in the past, like a long time ago, like when I really first started getting into fidgeting, but then she started doing it. Gotcha, bitch. My scent during the week is Oa de Havoc Sweet, sheet metal, and electronic notes. You sound like you need a freshie. That's what you need. If that's for real, because you're around electronic parts and stuff, you should get a Versace Pour Homme. Get some Versace Pour Homme. That'll work perfect for something like that. It's just a freshie you can wear to work. Nobody will be mad at it. Everybody will enjoy it. You'll like it. I guarantee you'll like it. It's a fragrance nobody can hate, especially for a man. Neeves proves me wrong. Sauvage smells exactly like Brute aftershave. I don't know about that. So there's different Sauvages. So it depends on which Sauvage you're talking about. My favorite is the Sauvage Parfum, but the EDT is the one you're probably talking about, which, yeah, I would say it smells a little bit like that. Because the EDT is more of a it's more of a citrusy. It has a little bit more citrus in it, and a little bit more freshness. The Parfum has some darkness in there, and it's a little bit bolder, and it adds like a little bit of spice and just like a little bit more. It almost is like a suede that they added to it. I don't know exactly what it is. I'd have to read the notes, but it's thicker. So I would say that one, yeah, the EDT. Then I would say, yeah, that's very similar. You know, but the thing is, though, is that that type of stuff does smell good, though, right? So to wear that, you know, it's somebody who likes that, you know, that scent or that smell, which is obviously popular because so many men have used it, are going to like the fragrance, because the fragrance isn't going to smell identical, but it's going to be very similar. Well, it's just like Creed Aventus, right? Creed Aventus has some similarities to Sauvage EDT too. It's a lot more expensive and it's a lot better, but if you want to get that fragrance, just get Mancera Cedric Boys, and that is literally, to me, in my opinion, a 1-to-1 with Creed Aventus. And it's a really good fragrance, but that one is a very masculine fragrance that has kind of that freshy, citrusy pineapple scent, like kind of like the Sauvage. Red Tobacco and Armani Code are 2 drop panty fragrances. I got the what is it? Armani Code Absolute, and I like it a lot. I didn't like it at first. I definitely did not like it at first, but I love it now. Lauren Thomas is the go-to guy for steel knowledge. He's literally called the nice steel nerd. Yes, he definitely is. He's got a lot of you know, a lot of videos out there. I know this one guy sat there and fought me so hard on what the HRC for MagnaCut should be. And, you know, he's had a lot of personal conversations with a lot of knife guys, like even like Chris Reeve, right? Tim Reeve. Tim Reeve said he talked to him, and he's the reason why he turned his MagnaCut up to like 64, 65 or whatever. Now, the people were arguing that no, he said it's supposed to be 62, 60 to 62 or something like that, right? And he's like, if you can find any video of him saying that it should be higher, send it to me, right? Like kind of like in a cocky way. So I did. I went and found a video with him talking about MagnaCut and talking about, yeah, like basically like, yeah, 62, there's a place, like there's a range, right? It depends on what you're doing. It depends on the geometry, depends on the purpose, depends on the type of knife and all this stuff, right? But when we start breaking it down to a high performance pocket knife, right? It should be higher. And he shows, like, even in the thing, like at 65 HRC, it's still tougher than M390. So it's like, if it's still tougher than your M390 still, I think it's 62 HRC or something, 60, 62 or something like that. So I think that's what it is. Don't quote me. He has the graphs and everything in the video. So, but basically, and Van X too, it shows that it's even tougher than Van X. So when you look at that, it's like, so why wouldn't you want it, right? If it's tougher than those steels at 65, right? Why wouldn't you want it at 63, 64? Like, you know, you're just going to get more edge retention out of it. So yeah, like that, obviously, if you're going to have a hard use knife, then yeah, you might want 62. But when you're talking about a high performance pocket knife, right? Like that's why he talks about the wide range of where it could be, just like almost all steels are like that. He never said that that MagnaCut should be only at 62 or shouldn't go higher than 62 or whatever. And I don't know exactly who said that. But you know, like I said, he's had many phone calls with people in the industry that I've heard from and spoken to, and had other people that have spoken to them. And, you know, to my knowledge, you know, he's the reason why a lot of the companies raised theirs. They raised it because they talked to him, and he said, yes, it's safe to run this high and will only basically be better for that type of knife. Like, you know, if it's going to be a fixed blade, that's different. But when you're talking about a fucking pocket knife, right? Something you're not batoning, something you're not fucking prying bricks off the wall with. I'm really loving the Mont Blanc Legend lately. I haven't tried that one. I want to try that one. I've heard good things about that one. Creed Irish Tweed smells like cooler. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. I've had both, and yes, it does. It's a little different, but it's same ballpark for sure. I don't mind that scent. I have a problem with it only because of my childhood, because that scent was very popular when I was young. So I have memories of it, you know, not like bad ones or anything, but it's just, you know, I've known it for so long. I only wear red tobacco about 3 times a month. Definitely not one you want to get nose blind to. You're liable to suffocate a motherfucker. Well, I found that I can't get Mom, you probably shouldn't be here, Mom. You should probably get out of here. This story time is not a good story for you, Mom. Shout out to my mother. I can't get nose blind to it. This is one that I can always smell on me. Even after, you know, I spray it, like I'll notice like me just walking, I'll get a woof of it. And I love it. Now, I do think in my head sometimes when I'm walking up to somebody, like, oh, they're going to smell this. So that's why I only do one spray right on the chest, and it seems to work perfect that way. Maybe 2, but they're light sprays. I don't go, I just go right on the chest, and it works perfect. That'll work 12 to 24 hours, probably like 46 hours, but you're not leaving now, son of a bitch. Mom, I wrote down a specific story, and I don't really want you to hear this story. I really don't. Oh, man. The one you just said you have so many samples of. Did you send me that one? No, you sent me it, though. You sent me this one because you've gotten plenty of them, too. You know this one. Exceptional because you are. You know this fragrance because you've sent me a couple of their samples. And I know why, because you got a bunch of them too. No, it wouldn't make you cry, but I don't think it's good for you to hear this story, Mom. I really don't. I really think you should go. I don't think you should listen to this story, Mom. It's a smash and grab story, Mom. Neve, if you have a crappy knife you don't want, I could really use a knife for the holidays. Well, Mark, you can get a hold of me if you want to on Instagram or email, and we can talk about it. Shout out to my mother, though. My mom is the best mother ever. You guys have no idea. My mom she's an absolute sweetheart. She's an angel, and she has always had my back through everything. She's never, ever, not one time in my life, not one time ever let me down for anything and nothing. Anytime I've ever had to come to her, anytime, you know, I've been in trouble, anytime, anything, you know, she's always been there. And that's just the way she is. She has her kids back. And she's, you know, she's such a good mother because it's like she's the type like that'll cook, clean for you. She'll do everything. She'll do your laundry. She'll fold your clothes. She'll iron them. Like, she is like the best mother that anybody could ever ask for. But then even more than that, she's somebody you can talk to. You can tell anything. Even when I was a kid, like things that you wouldn't normally tell your parents, I could tell her, and she would only help me. She'd only tell me what to do, what not to do, you know, how to get out of it, how to, you know, like not get out of it like that, but you know, how to deal with that type of situation. So shout out to my mom. She's such a beautiful person. She's an angel. I'm sorry, Joshua. I don't see it at all. How long ago was it? I'm sorry, bud. Let me see if I can see it up here. Did it go through? I don't see it. Sorry, bud. I literally can't see it at all. Hold on. Is this, no, I'm scrolling all the way up. I do not see it. So, wait. There it is. Oh, no, it's the same one. It was lit up because I clicked on it. No, I'm sorry, but I don't see it. I don't have it. You sure it went through? Can you see it on your end? You want a crappy one? I got you, Mark. I got a nice shitty knife for you. It's a fucking piece of shit. You're gonna love it. Neves, do you layer your Azzaro Wanted by Night? I've been layering my Black Explorer with Azzaro Wanted by Night over the top. Seems to improve the projection. I usually don't, but if I do it with a sweet fragrance because it already has the spicy tobacco that I love in it. So It's like a sweet tobacco spicy fragrance. Nothing like this though. Like this is like that times 1,000. So completely different. But it's nice if you use something like this with it. You put a little bit of like this and then that, and it makes basically like sweet, makes it a sweet tobacco fragrance more than a spicy tobacco, because out of the bottle it's a spicy tobacco. All right, Merry Neevesmas, everyone. Saw you ask tomorrow morning for the Christmas Eve stream. Shout out to you, man. I'm not sure if I'll make it. I got plans, but Merry Christmas to you, Tri-State. I do appreciate you coming in. Definitely go and subscribe to his channel if you are not subscribed, and if you don't know that he has a YouTube channel, he is a YouTube channel, and you can go and check it out. Must have been a dangerous bed. The fuck? Cobra Tech has OTFs, but never used one to know if it's any good. You could tell about when you shot my bed with a gun. I've told that story. I've told that story before, but no, I have a different story that I'm going to tell. But yes, I have told that story. Maybe I can briefly talk about it here in a second, but yeah, but I did tell that story before. Yeah, and I shot my mother's bed, the mirror of it, with a gun, and she had my back in that situation too. Anyways, let's get to story time. Mom, get out of here. I'm expecting you to leave right now. I hope you know. All right, so we're gonna go to story time. My mom's gonna be out of here, so she's gonna turn off the stream right now. I love you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and next time I'll tell a different story. Okay, Mom. What's up with the Chris Reeves Sebenza? Are they worth the money, or is it just a popularity thing? Both. It definitely has a popularity thing, but that's because it is so good, right? Nothing that's popular like that is not good, right? That's how it goes, right? It's popular for a reason. Now, it's a knife that's a slow rolling knife, so it's not like what you're going to get from like the ball bearing action. So just know that, right? It's a slow roller. You can flick it, like it does flick, but it's not like a fall shut action, right? It's more of a close action. And then after a while, you can start dropping it, but it's a washer action. So expect tight tolerances. Now, aside from that, the ergonomics are great. The geometry is amazing. It has literally the perfect geometry for a tough knife. It's a deep hollow grind, very deep hollow grind. It actually gets thinner as you sharpen it. So after a couple sharpening, it's only thinner. Yeah, we're getting to story time here in 1 second. So the blade shape is phenomenal. The lock bar access is great. It has the best plunge grind in the business. Great heat treatments, especially the new stuff, you know, after Tim Reeves took over. So yeah, really, really good. All right, so smash and grab story. Sebenza is expensive, but damn well made knife. Yes, it's damn well made. That's the thing. And it comes in so many different versions. You know, that's kind of the beautiful thing. It comes in so many different versions. Any luck with Instagram? I can't find them. Hey, point. Oh, not to me. I almost bought a Jutland last week. Don't hesitate. Don't, especially if it's this one. I would say, just from my experience, I'd say stay away from the burlap. It's good, it's okay, but it's not like this one. For some reason, like I thought when I first got mine, like that's why I just haven't really talked about it, because I got it and it was okay. Well, no, sorry. The first one I got, I had to call the company. I told them this thing's a piece of, I basically said that. I said, you know, this thing sucks. Send me a different one. And they did. And it was pretty much the same. It was a little bit better, but it wasn't as good as this. Like it didn't have a crisp detent. It wasn't as smooth as this, you know. So because my two examples are not the best, I'm not saying they're horrible. Most people probably wouldn't notice unless if you grabbed this one. This one is just so good, so much better. Anyways, so story time. Where'd I get this shirt? I don't know. I don't remember. Blade HQ, I think. Yeah, Blade H, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody probably, I don't know. I might have bought it offline or something. So story time. So this is a story time. I know it's not much of a Christmas story, so forgive me. It's what I had written down from last week. So tonight's story time is about a smash and grab. So when I was doing not so good of things, being a horrible person and doing shitty things, so the smash and grab was a place that had alarms, cameras, things like that. So when you are dealing with that, you obviously have to kind of know the time of like the police response. You need to know police response. You need to know where cameras are. You obviously need to be masked up and other things covered, you know, because you don't want to give away certain things. Like say if you're on camera with certain shoes, you obviously got to get rid of those. Like there's lots of things you have to ditch after being on camera doing a smash and grab, right? Especially in those times, right? Now it seems like you can do fucking smash and grabs all day and be just fine. But not then. Anyways, they'd hunt your ass down then. So this place was out in the middle of nowhere. So that this was kind of the beautiful thing, but it wound up being the horrible thing at the same time. So shit went sideways. So this is the story. So there was like a country ass road with like cornfields, right? So it's all cornfields, and then this place, right? Dead smack in the middle on this long road. There's a T road, then a long road, and another T road. So it's like in between two T roads, but that's like a 3-mile stretch or something between roads, maybe like 2 miles or something. So lots of cornfields in between. So you're out in the middle of fields. So there was somewhat of it wasn't an inside job or anything, but we had a little bit of information, not enough, but we did have enough information to do the deal, right? So the plan was to go, obviously, execute the smash and grab, to make sure you cover up. We're going to get rid of everything afterwards, you know, anything that's going to tie it back to us or whatever, you know, masked up. And we were preparing for the alarm. We knew when the alarm was going to be there. So we had a driver, and the driver was going to drop us off and come back in 3 to 5 minutes. So there was like a time limit, right? Because we had time, right? You have like for a police response, I've tested police responses multiple times on an alarm, and it's usually 15 to 20 minutes. That's usually what it is. So the alarm company has to call. So first, when the alarm goes off, the signal goes to the alarm company, which is in another state, right? It's some other state, could be another country, but it's usually another state. And then they have to call the local police department. Well, first they have to figure out what location it is. Then they have to dispatch it out to the police department, and then they get dispatched to you. So that usually takes a couple minutes. And then you don't know how far away they are. I tested one time that was literally like a block. No, maybe it was like 6 blocks, maybe like 8 to 10 blocks away from a police station. And it still took them 15 minutes. So, and that was literally just for the point of seeing their time, you know, so because I had a different job I was trying to do in a similar distance. And yeah, anyways, so with this one, I knew that they would take, you know, at least 15 to 20 minutes. So the time limit was, we have 5 minutes, 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out, all together. Our driver will be back in 5 minutes. So they're going to leave us, come back in 5 minutes. So there was a fence and things like that. Like I said, the cameras had to, you know, go past the cameras. The cameras weren't a big deal to us because, you know, covering up and ditching things. But after doing the smash, the alarm went off, right? The alarm went off. Well, here's where it goes sideways. So the alarm, the owner or security or whatever must have been right there, like down the street or something. And I'm guessing didn't live far. That's what I'm guessing, or was just driving and happened to be right there in the area at that exact time. And we should have had a tail on him, but we didn't. Anyway, so he must have had it hooked up to his phone. So when the alarm went off, and they do have that now, right? So it's very common now, but you know, back in the day, it wasn't common. Like you wouldn't get a notification on your fucking phone, but now you do. So he must have got the notification on his phone, and then he beeline there. He came fucking stomping and romping. Like I said, he wasn't far. So by the time we did the smash in the grab, so the plan was, by the way, let me back up really quick. So the plan was to get the things, right, that we're grabbing and put them in this location, right? And then our getaway car is going to pull up right there. We can load it up in 10 seconds, right, and be gone. So we have the stuff going there, right? So the stuff's going there, and the fucking security, the guy, whatever, winds up pulling up, and now we have to ditch, right? So that means we have to, because we're not going to hurt anybody, right? So that was never the plan. And we know the police are on their way, right? We already know that. So we already know we have to deal with police, but now we have this guy, and he's catching us kind of red-handed, right? Because he pulls up and we're loading. So it messes everything up, right? Messes everything up. Now we have the pile that we're ready to load, but our driver's not back yet, right? It's only been like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Like I said, dude wasn't far. So because our driver, like I said, knew, like, we always have an emergency call just in case, but we didn't have time to make an emergency call because he pulled up like so fast. Like, he came fucking flying, flew in, and so we had to make a break for it, right? Because we had the stuff ready to load, but our vehicle wasn't there. So we wound up having to take what we could hold, right? Because we didn't want to leave everything. And I know you're thinking, like, yeah, leave it, because, it's like, it's better to leave it and not get caught than to carry it and it drag you down and you get caught, right? Of course. But you also don't want to do something for nothing, right? In some cases. So what did we have to do? We had to take to the cornfields, right? Because all these fucking cornfields, right? So we didn't have a choice. So we had to hold what we could and literally track it into the cornfields while, the guy's seen right where we went. So now we have to devise a plan, right? We have to devise a plan. Are we going to go the same direction, or are we going to split, or what are we going to do, right? And then now we have to call our getaway driver and change locations, right? So, obviously we call the getaway driver, say plans are shot, we're coming up with a plan B, we'll call you back or whatever, right? So now they know, don't go back, don't go nowhere near that fucking place. So we're in the fucking middle of a fucking cornfield, and we wind up getting out into this farm where there's fucking bulls and cows, and the cows fucking see us. Now they're fucking wanting us, like, to think we have food or something. So now they're fucking following us and shit. We're trying to get past these guys, but we're also like, when you get into that section, it's open, right? So it's like, we have to make it across this fast. Like, we can't, it's like we went to a cornfield and then it got to an open field with cows and bulls and stuff. I think it was just bulls, maybe just cows. I don't fucking know. It was dark. So we had to, and man, I'll tell you what, scared the fucking shit out of me. It was pure darkness. I'm talking about dark, right? And I hear something, right? I fucking hear something. So I get ready to fight, and it's a fucking cow out of nowhere. It's crazy because it's so dark, I can't see. And, your eyes have to adjust to the darkness, but they hadn't adjusted yet, right? Because we went from lights to running into a cornfield that's black as dark as shit. So you can't see nothing. So our eyes, it's only been like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes of running or something. So our eyes have not even adjusted. It usually takes 10 to 15 minutes for your eyes to adjust. And then all of a sudden I hear a noise, and I hear footprints or footsteps. So I'm like, oh fuck, I'm thinking it's, the cops or something. Or, I knew it probably wasn't the cops because of what just happened, but maybe it was him, the guy, or the partner or something like that. So squared up to fight, and it wound up being a fucking cow. And then it was like, thank God it's a fucking cow, right? But then you start thinking, like, is this cow friendly? Right? Is he about to fucking stampede my ass? Luckily he just wanted food. So we just kept going, and he starts following us. The fucking cow's following us now. So we're tracking through, and we got to be careful because, like I said, when you're going through this section, because when we came out, that's when we ran into the cow. But once we came out, now we're in the open field. There's no more cornfields. We have to go across this to the next to get into another cornfield to be kind of hidden. But we need to go that direction because, one, for a pickup. Number two, because it's the least likely place they would think we would go. Anytime you ever do a run, you have to go to the least likely place. They always plan your movements, so your movements are always going to be what's the easiest. That's what they always think. So just like the one time when I ran from the cops, I knew that once I jumped the fence, they would think I hide in the back, in like the backyard. I knew that they would think that. So that's why I kept jumping. I kept running. So when they were searching for me, they couldn't find me, right? And I was already gone. And what I did was I just kept moving. So I never stopped. And that's how I got away. I was able to get away because of that. And dogs chasing me and everything, because the dogs couldn't jump the fence without the cops being there. So they were stuck at the fences while I'm jumping more. Anyways, with this one, we had to go towards the location, which would be the hardest, which was just a guess, by the way, because, you know, it's fucking cornfields, right? So out in the middle of nowhere. This knife is so dope, man. I love this fucking thing. Anyway, so we get to the next cornfield and, you know, stomp our way through there. You know, it's muddy, it's wet, it's a bunch of shit. We're fucked up now. Like, shit went sour, shit went bad. We had to call our getaway driver, you know, and tell them where to meet us. At the same time, there's police, because by now the police have showed up. So now the police, are circling the area. So like the giant cornfield area, so that long road, and then the T road, and then the other T road, they're like setting up shit, like not setting up like roadblocks or anything, but they're circling because they knew we were on foot, because the guy had seen that part. He's seen us ditch, he's seen us go. So they were trying to close us in, right? And you know, our getaway driver fucking had passed one of them, you know, and seen like right where they were and stuff. So we wound up setting up where to meet. Basically, we wound up going into a neighborhood with some houses where it was late, so like nobody was out, but it made it to where it'd be more likely a car would pull up and pick somebody up. So we made it a lot better, and it wound up working out, obviously. Everything wound up working out. We wound up getting picked up. And yeah, it wound up being a giant fucking adrenaline rush. But those adrenaline rushes, man, they can be addicting. They can really, really be addicting. They wind up making you, I don't want to say enjoy it, but it makes you ballsier for other things. And that's the part that fucks you over in the end, because you wind up getting so ballsy and ballsy and ballsy and ballsy. Like, at first you have all your checks and balances, and you know, like you everything is strategic, everything is planned. But then the more risk you take, because the bigger risk, the bigger reward, right? The more risk you take, the bigger the risk, and the more you do it. And it winds up becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And then not even just that, then it winds up becoming the risk factor is too big, where it's like, okay, the reward is not that big, but the risk is huge, right? And you start compromising the things that you would normally have, you know, rules for, right? Which is what eventually happened, and the reason why I wound up catching a felony and everything was because of that exact reason. Because of doing high stakes things for fucking low, you know, not much for reward. Did you do enjoy it because it's exciting to a kid? Yeah, I wasn't a kid though. I was a full grown man. I was probably fucking 25, 30 or something. I don't know. Probably 27 or something, 28. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, I was not a kid, definitely. But yeah, when you're a kid too, I mean, I started out with like, well, every type of adrenaline rush, from like riding dirt bikes, you know, riding wheelies and doing jumps and things like that, to you know, like snowmobiling and going jet skiing and all that stuff, to rock climbing, bungee jumping, sky coasting, all that stuff. Like, and it just, you know, your adrenaline, like you get these adrenaline rushes and you get addicted to it. You love it. And I still do. I still love a good adrenaline rush. I'm good to go. Like, I love doing shit, you know, that's crazy. I love, you know, like doing heights, you know, and anything that'll get me a good adrenaline rush. I'm down for. But there, there's obviously levels and limits to which, what is a good thing to do. Grumpy Wizard, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you becoming a member, man. Thank you for the support, especially on Christmas, man. We definitely all need support on Christmas. Thank you so much. I'm back. Someone gifted me a Gen X Talks membership. Had to pop over and give them thanks. Hell yeah. Very cool. Cows are always bragging all about lifestyle choices and they chew on cud just like a moron. Jared, the cow puncher. That would have been fucked up. I love animals. I would never punch a cow. You'd have to be a fucked up cow for sure. But I almost did just because I thought it was a human. If you guys would have seen how it went, because you would think, like, how could you mistake a cow? Well, when you're coming out of a cornfield, right? Like literally corn's taller than you, right? And you you run right into a cow, but you can hear them. And this was the thing. I didn't even say this. This is the thing. We couldn't see. We couldn't see the field, without the corn, right? So we're like 10 feet from it or 5 feet from it when we hear the noises, right? So it's like right there. Right. So we're like, what the fuck is in this fucking cornfield with us? Right. Who the fuck is in this cornfield with us? Because you can't see that there's an open field. Once you get out, now you can see it's an open field, but you got to get out to see that. The corn's in the way until then. So that's why. Once I watched a guy trying to ride a cow for 8 was pretty entertaining. For 8 seconds, you mean? Yeah, it's usually what it is. Riding bulls, 8 seconds is the time to get. Dude, I have a Kershaw in there, brand new in the box for like $18. Talk about NAFSALE. Shout out to NAFSALE. Go and check out his Kershaw for $18. Just tuned in. You got any good pine cedar winter fragrances? Miss scent of the day. Yeah. We actually talked about a good pine one. That one would be there's a couple, but the one that comes off like right to mind is green Irish tweed, which is Creed green Irish tweed, or you can go with what the fuck, we just said it, cool water, the green bottle. I did hear the blue bottle, which is their new stuff, is really good. I'm gonna buy some because I heard it's like banging good. So I'm gonna try that shit out. Thank you, Todd. You are the man. Definitely going to be sending you a Christmas gift. I do appreciate it. Ma'am, you weren't supposed to be in here. I bought the KIZER Kobold, 62 plus tax and shipping. The Kobold's a good one. I wish, so I have, what do I have? I have a micarta one, but it's the dark micarta and an aluminum one. I wish I had the brown micarta and the aluminum one. Let's see here. I think a taser in 8 seconds as well feels like an hour. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. 8 seconds doing there's a lot of things you spend 8 seconds doing. It's going to feel like a fucking hour for sure. Running from the cops is definitely one of them. I have a knockoff of the Irish tweed. Well, cool water is a pine scent. Daniel Cad, Merry Christmas to you, brother. You can go with the pine tar beard oil I produce. There you go. I'm trying to think of another pine fragrance, and shout out to Daniel Cadman. Thank you for the support, brother. Merry Christmas to you. You and the dog. What is another good pine one I have? There's one that I keep thinking of, and I just, it's right on the tip of my tongue that I have, and I can't think of what it is. I don't know. Creed Aventus has, like that type of style, but it's not pine, but it has that style. Daniel Cat with another 2 bones, man. Thank you for the Christmas gift. Appreciate all the Christmas gifts tonight, guys. Thank you so much. What would you rather do? Ride a bull or get tasered for 8 seconds or kicked in the nuts? Ride a bull. I definitely ride a bull. I mean, I'll take the kick in the nuts probably, then ride a bull, and then the 8 seconds of getting electric shock. But I actually got kicked off of a bull one time. My uncle talked me into getting on one. It wasn't a full grown one. They had 4 bulls, you know, they were going to raise and use for meat. And these were like teenagers at the time, right? Teenager bulls. And he was like, why don't you get on there? And I'm like, no, man, he's gonna fucking kick me off. He's like, what are you, a pussy? What are you, a girl? You're a little girl now? So you know your boy had to jump on there and prove that he was a man. And so I jumped on there. And as soon as I jumped on, like, it was like so instant. And this is the fucked up thing. It was inside of the barn. We weren't outside. We were inside the barn. So I get on, and as soon as I get on, well, bam, he does one of those. I hit the fucking ceiling because the ceiling was only like 8 foot, 10 foot or something. So when he kicked up, the ceiling was like right there. You know, when you're on your bull, like the ceiling's not far. So I fucking hit the ceiling and fell down on the ground. Got fucked up. If I was outside, I would have had a lot better chance, obviously. Hey, Dan, with the 10 memberships, man. What a Christmas gift. Thank you, sir. All right, man, I appreciate that. Shout out to all the new members who just got gifted memberships. I do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Those memberships are huge for the channel. Only thing that sucks is a lot of the people that are, you know, members aren't going to see much content for a couple weeks because we got the holidays. But I do appreciate it, though, man. It is a huge way to support. Dude, I looked. I don't think I've ever gotten that sample for you. Yes, you have. I have some from you. I know you have. I have some from you that you have sent to me. Right now, I still have it. And I have like 5 other bottles of it. I've given a bunch of them away too. So I know. Trust me. Trust me. I'm positive without a shadow of a doubt. When I seen it, I already knew. I was like, oh, he's been buying from this place. This place always gives those as a sample. Always. Like for like 6 months, I got a sample every time I ordered something. I love my Civivi Elementum 2 button lock. What is a similar knife with a premium steel? You doing the big one? Quiet Carry Waypoint Large. The Quiet Carry Large Waypoint. That is basically a premium large version. It's not a button lock. It's a liner lock, but it's a premium knife. Another one would be... there was another one. I'm trying to think of what it was that I really liked. Oh, the Spyderco Gale Bradley. Spyderco Gale Bradley is another one, very similar. They are like 1-to-1 if you put them next to each other. And I'll show you. Fuck it. I thought it was right here. Maybe I can't. Oh no, I got the Gale Bradley out there. I can't show it to you. Sorry, guys. I don't have it in here. Daniel Kidd with another 5 bones. I'm going to send you something for Christmas away from YouTube. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate these Christmas gifts either way. I still consider them Christmas gifts. All the donations tonight are Christmas gifts. Monterey Bay Knives EZC button lock tie. What about it, Spanky? Oh, you're saying that's similar. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Jared, I bought a Proponent in S35. Are these things known to have detent issues? I can't seem to open it with the thumb studs. Any idea, or should I just send it back? So mine works great by the thumb studs. Are you normally good at thumb stud flicking, Craig? If you are, feel the detent right here. It should be a solid detent. Like mine's solid because it has a flipper, so it needs to be, but you can see I could easily fail it, you know. But what you can do is take it apart. Whoops. Which one do you have? This one's not S35, is it? You have an S35 VN one. I'm wondering if that's a titanium frame lock or if that's a liner lock one. If that's a frame lock one, most likely one of 2 things is happening. Your detent is getting sticky because there's a burr around the detent hole. So take it apart and knock the edge around the detent hole off. You can use a file. You can use a piece of ceramic. You can use a rock, like literally a rock, and just put it in the hole and turn it. And it'll take off the burr, blow it out, you know, clean it out. Then put it back together and see if that helped. If that did not help, take it back apart and adjust the lock bar strength. Your lock bar needs the tension to go that way. So your lockup is moving this way, right? That's why you disengage like that, right? So you want to put it in the opposite way it's locking up so that you can take off some tension and it'll lighten the detent a little bit for you. What is this? Chaz, Merry Christmas. Thanks for all the great content over the past year. Chaz, man, holy shit. 50 bones. I can't pull it up. I don't know why. Bro, thank you so much. Holy cow. Guys, I don't know if you can see this, but I can't pull it up on the screen, so I apologize. I don't know why it's not letting me pull it up. But I can see it up here on top. 944, so I just got it. Man, shout out to you, man. Thank you. Or maybe it's down here. Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Thank you, Chaz. Man, you are awesome, man. Thank you so much. What a damn Christmas gift, man. You are amazing, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so awesome. Donations definitely help this channel out a lot. It is definitely a massive thing for the channel, getting the donations. You know, it's definitely expensive having a knife channel. People don't realize. I know people, you know, think, you know, I make good money. I do make decent money, but if like just 1 month of bad money can, you know, take you downhill fast, really fast. Because it's you know, it's something that you have to constantly invest in, and you have to pay tons of taxes. Like, there's so much bullshit. Like, if you guys knew how much I paid in taxes last year, it's fucking sickening. It makes me disgusted. But anyways, you know, that's the point of having a business though, and building it and growing it. So, you know, you got to take a lot of losses for a while in order to have your wins in the end. And I do appreciate all the support along the way, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And I do want to say, dude, you should make a good living. You grind. I do make a good living. I do. I'm not saying I don't. I do make a good living, and I want to make a better living. That's the thing. I always want to do better. I want to do better next year, this year, whatever you want to call it, 2024, than I did 2023, and same thing with 2022. So I'm always trying to progress and do better. And yes, I do make good money, but like I said, it takes a large investment. So, you know, you might make money, like, but a lot of it goes right back into the channel. The majority, like so much of it, like, so it's, you're making money, but you're investing it. So, you know, that's kind of the thing. And James K gifted 5 NeevesKnives memberships. Thank you, man. Holy shit. You got the Christmas gifts coming in. I actually did that procedure to a new Tucson that had a similar problem. I learned how to do it from one of your vids, but that wasn't a $200 knife. Was that a, so you have the frame lock then. So try, just check the detent, because what's probably happened is one, it might be a sharp edge where the detent ball, I don't have nothing to use as an example, but what fragrance is this? Think of it like, you know, it's a hole. So when the detent's popping out, right, there's that corner, like it's catching. So knock down the corner edge of the hole. So guys, I do want to shout out all you guys for all this year, all the support you guys have given us, and you know, all the donations all year, all the like buttons you guys have hit, all the comments you guys have given us, all the views, man, all the views. And like I said, I'm really hoping to take this to a whole nother level next year. You know, and you know, obviously not change anything, but only change for the better, right? Evolve for the better. And I am, you know, wanting to do a lot more things next year with NEEVEKNIVECO, with knife designs and all that stuff. And you know, this whole journey over the past 3 years has been absolutely incredible. And I knew coming into it that if I worked hard enough, it would pay off. you know, and I'll tell you what, man, there was a lot of times where it didn't seem like it. There was a lot of fucking times where I felt like I was grinding and grinding, and I mean fucking grinding. Like working a full-time job, and then on top of it, working a second full-time job on the channel, and wondering, like, am I like just wasting life right now, right? But I couldn't help but think in the back of my head that no, if you fucking work hard enough at it, and you keep at it, you keep at it, you keep at it, you will become successful in that field. And I think that I believe that for anything. I don't care if it's toothpicks, right? If you fucking spend enough time selling toothpicks and knowing everything about toothpicks, you'll become, you know, you'll be able to do something well with toothpicks. You know, I know it's a ridiculous way to talk, but you know what I mean. So I doubled down and I tripled down, and every time I felt like giving up, and every time like I felt like it wasn't working out, I said I'm just gonna hit it harder. I'm gonna work harder. And I did, and it eventually did start slowly paying off a little bit. It started making it to where we were actually making an income instead of being a negative, because the first couple of years was all negative. You know, we didn't make $1. That's the part that people don't tell you about with YouTube, especially with a knife channel or a review channel. You spend money in order to grow a channel. So you put about a year, at least a full year. That's probably what it was because the first beginning, you know, I didn't take it as seriously as I did after 6 months. 6 months in, that's when I started taking it seriously. So, you know, about a year in of taking it seriously, that's it was basically like a year of really pushing money into it. Then finally it started paying off, and I started breaking even. Basically, I'd break even, and then after, you know, a little bit more, then I finally started making a little bit of money, and I was able to quit my job. So, you know, and I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without you guys. And I do feel very blessed, and I'm very thankful to be, you know, in this position, especially from where I came from and all the things I've done in the past. And, you know, to turn everything around, it's been a fucking journey, man. It's been an absolute journey, you know. And, you know, I think about, you know, some people that that I know. Like earlier today, I was talking to my nephew, right? He's in prison. I talk to him, you know, I try talking to him every day, but, you know, every other day at least. And you know, he's in prison. He's not going to be out until like he's got until like 2025. He's hoping that he'll be able to get out the end of 2024. So that's what we're hoping for. But otherwise it'd be like the end of 2025. So he's got a bit to do. He's already been in there a couple years. And you know, it kills me that he's in there, you know, but I know I could be in that position, right? So I'm out here, so I'm trying to do right, right? I'm trying to do right. I got a second chance, and I'm very, very thankful for this second chance. Like I said, I feel very blessed. Thank God. So I don't want to fuck it up. And, you know, when I think about where he's at, you know, I think about like, well, when he gets out, it'd be better if I'm doing really well so that I can help him get out of that mindset, get out. And I know I can, I know he will. I know, you know, it's easy to talk really good when you're locked up. It's easy to talk about the things you want to do when you're locked up. But when you actually get out, that's when it matters. So I'm really hoping that I can be there for him when he gets out, so he doesn't have to go back to a life of crime or anything like that. Fox, Merry Christmas to you, man. Thank you for the Christmas present, man. 10 bounce. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Dude, Neeves, your channel helps and means so much to so many people, brother. Thank you, BK. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope it does, man. It always makes me feel good when people you know, tell me like the channel helped them in some way, or, you know, whether it's sharpening, knife related, or even just, you know, content related, you know, just to enjoy something. But yeah, I definitely enjoy doing this. I 100% enjoy doing this. Obviously, you know, it turns into a job, right? So, but I think with anything you love, if you're passionate about it, you're going to work 10 times harder at it. You know, they say that thing, and I don't believe this to be true, but they say like, if you love what you do, then you'll never work another day in your life. That's not true. The real truth is if you love what you do, you're going to do it so much and work so hard at it that it becomes, even more than a job. So it's like I think it's hilarious when you hear somebody bitching about a 9-to-5 and they want to start their own business. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think there's people out there that don't do well in a 9-to-5. They would do way better being their own boss or having their own business or whatever. But you always have to be able to do a 9-to-5 in order to do a 24-hour thing, right? Like that's the thing. Man, this knife sounds so cool, doesn't it? But that's what I think is funny though, when I hear people like bitching about a 7-8 hour shift and then they say they want to start their own business. It's like, well, you're bitching about 10 or 8 hours. Like, like the boss works like fucking 18 hours a day. You fuck. Like, what are you talking about? I just bought a Delica and Indelic K390 and another 535 bug out for Christmas. That is awesome, Jimmy. I hope you use my links, but if you didn't, that's okay. Merry Christmas to you. And yeah, man, the K390, favorite steel, hands down, my absolute favorite steel. Rex 45 is right there next to Crewwear for me. I'm gonna really test it out and see where I'm really gonna place it. But K390 is my absolute favorite steel. It is such a badass steel. Thanks, Jared, for a year of knowledge. You have helped many people in many different ways. Thank you, Bluetooth. I appreciate that, man. Guys, thank you guys for all the donations tonight. I hope you guys have a great Christmas. Thanks for working hard because your sharpening knowledge has taught a lot of people to keep our knives sharp. I hope so. I hope a lot of people do get a lot from the sharpening stuff, and I always have tons more coming. I actually even have some stuff planned right now for some sharpening stuff. If you guys don't know, I have a sharpening playlist here on YouTube, but I'm starting to post stuff on TikTok for sharpening. But I'm also going to post it on YouTube. I'll probably do both. But the thing is the camera will be face up, so you're not going to watch it like this. You'll have to watch it like this. So that's the only thing, is if I do that. Otherwise, I can't use it over there, or at least it won't look good over there. My next knife is going to be a titanium pyrite. I don't know whether to get the Damascus or not. I don't think it matters. If you like the Damascus, get the Damascus. If you want to save a little bit of money, get the other steel. That's 90Vs. The S90V will be a superior to the Damascus, but the Damascus is a good Damascus, so they do a good job with it. Stasa, shout out to Stasa23. Definitely go and check his channel out. I'm sure you guys know who the fuck he is, but might as well go check him out either way. Go give him some likes. Go give him some views, some watch time. Merry Christmas, brother. If I don't talk to you by then, Merry Christmas to you too, man. I appreciate you coming in, and I appreciate everybody who joined me for tonight's live. You guys are awesome, man. 134 of you in here still, and that's awesome. Seems like you guys have been in here this whole time, which is amazing, man. And I heard somebody say this, we'll get out of here after this, but I heard somebody say this about a channel. They were talking about, you'd rather have a 100, right? You can say 1,000 or 100, but let's say 100. You'd rather have 100 loyal followers than 1 million people that just, they're just watching, and it didn't make sense to me at the time, but now it does, because the 1 million aren't going to watch your shit. They're going to come and go. They're going to be, just wishy-washy. But the loyal viewers watch they don't have to watch everything, but they watch mostly everything. They support in different ways. They have your back. They communicate with you. They send you links. They help you know when things are, there. They give you ideas. They do so much. They meet up with you at Blade Show. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the support this year, and I can't wait till next year. We are going to have another banging year. We said it last year that 2023 was going to be our best year yet, and it was. So let's do it again. Work hard, stay tough. Society's relying on you. Until next time, peace.